Okay, so Stella's in the camera spot, so I'm in this other awkward position. So, anyways, it's probably good to change positions, anyways. So, anyways, I swear to God, I spent all day arguing. And some people say, oh, well, that's just bots, but I'll go in and look at their accounts, and they have a lot of videos. They have like followers and following and likes and stuff. And they seem like legit accounts. Some of them you go in and it seems like, I'll just block those ones. But some of them seem like real people. And I'll tell you who is so triggered is hairdressers are so triggered, and people who love their gray hair. I can't believe how many come in and try and talk shit to me. Well, I love my gray hair. I'm not trying to change a thing. I love myself. And oh my, I was like, you're missing the fucking point of what I'm talking about. So you go on with your bad self. Love yourself right to death. This one lady, it was like, and she was, this lady has been so triggered by me. Like, she has been losing her mind. And I don't know if she's a bot. She seems to be, but she's been losing her mind. She says she's an RN, only she goes with real science. Like, you know, I'm a nitwit and I'm just making shit up. And she's just sitting there laughing at me. And so we had some back and forth going, and I'm like, okay, we're just on the completely different wavelengths, ta-ta. And she just wouldn't stop. She just keeps going and going. And I told her, you're harassing me. So, you know, go find somebody that's on your level. You're so brilliant. And I can be really like condescending. I can do that. And you know, I guess that's my dark side. I don't know, but I do have that. And so anyways, you know, I do have an underhanded, nasty way of being able to put you down with a smile on my face. And anyway, she was just getting so pissed. And because she wouldn't stop. And then she was like laughing at me, telling me I was the one. I was like, chick, you're fucking coming in and harassing me. And then she was telling me, you know, how, I don't know, it always goes to, you know, how beautiful they are and how they're aging so well and how they use pharmaceuticals and all this stuff. And how I'm, this one even was like, well, you have wrinkles. I was like, oh my God, again, you're missing the point. And when I just turned, it seemed like there was a face right there. Really gave me like a heart attack for a second. I can tell you what happened when I went to bed last night too. It was so creepy. But so these people telling me today, you know, that it's not real science and stuff, and they're gonna go with science. Even when the evidence is right in front of somebody, they have such cognitive dissonance that they just have to cut it off, ridicule you, put you down, tell you you're wrong, keep harassing you. It's the craziest thing. And but she was making like I was, you know, just spreading all this bad science too. So I went to go look at her account. It was like, oh, okay, so I want to see your beautiful hair and all this stuff. Not one single picture of any of that. One video she had was just flowers with some Miley Cyrus song. And I don't even know how she had 1,100 views on it. She had 2 comments. I don't know if she had any likes. Well, she had likes in her thing, and she only had this one video. And she had hundreds of likes. These people mess with their accounts. Like, there's so much. It is so dishonest in social media. It's such game playing. People try to make themselves look more important or something. I don't know. But so, to me, as like, all you're talking about is flowers. Go buy yourself flowers. And you're ridiculing me when I'm trying to tell people to take better care of themselves and their health and stuff. And this is a nurse. And I wanted to say, well, better go get a lot more of those flowers because you're going to be needing them for your grave. But then I was like, no, that's the kind of shit that got me kicked off Twitter. Right? You gotta be careful about what you say and how you say it. They'll come after you. They'll just fucking Secret Service will shove it your fucking drive. And so this was so creepy when I went to bed. And so I turned the other way. It wasn't because the one night when I turned, I was facing the other way. And when I went, and it was just like, I went into this dark space, and then I saw that tunnel or that light. And the more I focused on it, the closer I got to it. Like I was drawing myself to it by thinking about it, by focusing on it, by asking the question what it is, when I know that's how consciousness works. And in how you understand reality and stuff. Like this is stuff I've talked about. Like, anyways, so anyhow, last night, this was so crazy. So I laid and I was facing the other way. So I was actually facing the hall. And she is giving me some bullshit, I'll tell you. She better not go over there with some fucking bells again. Like she is giving me the runaround today. So I faced looking like I was down the hall. Only my eyes were shut, And I've been doing the waves. I've been going more on natural sounds and doing ocean waves. And it is really super meditative. So, because the frequencies were really getting to me. And I don't know if there's just a lot of interference, but it was making me feel like edgy. And then you don't know which of them are even being messed with, and they've got them on the wrong thing anyways to make you feel edgy. So that's why you gotta listen to yourself. And so anyways, so I was laying there and I shut my eyes, and it was like all of a sudden I was in this mall, and it was like a galleria or something. And I was watching the people all walking around, and then there was this guy who was like across from me. So he was like across from me, like if we were at the mall, he was, I don't know, like a store away, like a door, how you have those big wide doors that they go through. So he was down a bit, and I was looking at him because he was very striking. He was very striking. He had it's like white silver hair, and it was like perfectly coiffed. It was like perfect. And he had this really trim silver beard and mustache, and he had these blue eyes. They were so freaking blue. I couldn't believe how blue they were. And so I kept looking at his eyes, and I was thinking about how pretty his eyes were. But it was like me noticing him or something. Like I feel like these are some kind of spiritual attacks, because so when I noticed him and I saw him standing there, it was like he started coming straight at me. And it was like had me dead in his eyes. He was looking straight at me, and he was coming straight towards me. And it's not like walking, it's like this real like flowing movement. And so he was coming towards me really fast, and he was getting closer and closer. And as he got up to my face, it was like he went through me. And it was so creepy the way his eyes and the way he came up. So because it all was happening really quick. So it was like you're at the mall and you see this person and you think, oh, that guy's good looking. And then it's like they're looking right at you, and they just start coming towards you, and then they come right into you. Like he went straight into me. And I sat up real quick. And I was like, hell no. Go. I was like, shake it off. Get the fuck out, dude. And I was thinking, those are like some sort of portals. It's some sort of portal. Don't focus on, if there's comes something in your dream or while you're trying, because I'm not even asleep when this happens. This is just, I shut my eyes and I'm all of a sudden like, boom, there I am. And so when you focus on it, it's like it pulls you into that. It's like it's pulling you into this reality. And it seems like, where people are like, oh, mirrors and all that stuff. But there is like, we aren't like what we think we are. And there is like an access point or something. Like there is real like spiritual involvement or attacks or something. I don't know how to explain it, because I know on the one, when saw the light, and I was like innocently sitting there thinking, because you're just going to bed, and it's like, what the hell is that light? How was there a light? And what I was facing was the other side of the couch. So there was nothing that would even be light. It was just the brown leather cushion. And so my face is turned towards the brown leather cushion. So it should have been really dark, but there's a darkness in space that is not explainable. It's like the deepest, darkest, blackest color that you can imagine. And that to me is when you're in this space that you go to other realms or something. I don't know how to explain it. I just know I've been in it. But I've never gone into it just by shutting my eyes. Well, yeah, I guess I have. Okay, I don't know. I can just slip in. I don't know. I don't understand all this stuff. I can just guess and, try and figure it out. But anyway, so when I turned and I was facing the couch, so even with my eyes shut, it should have just still been like that brown. It's almost, to me, like I can see light through my eyelids. But this was pitch black. There was nothing I could see but this light tunnel. It was like you just are pitch black out in, you just got to imagine being out in open space where you're just pitch black all around you. And all you can see is one little light way up there. And then you start focusing on it. And then the more you think of it or look at it or wonder what it is your focus. And when you're focusing on it, it starts pulling you towards it. And as you're being pulled towards it, you are losing this feeling of you. So you're losing something. And so, I don't know, man. Like, we don't know for sure what the hell with this place. So I'm telling you, there's some weird shit. And the way that guy came up, and it was like he was real. It wasn't like this was like I hadn't gone to sleep. I had just turned on my side, shut my eyes, and all of a sudden there was like I was looking into a Galleria kind of mall. And it was just this striking man that was like looking at me. And so the more I noticed him, the faster he came towards me. And the more I thought about him, like noticing his hair, his eyes, he just had this like super like angelic kind of face and these mesmerizing eyes that kind of were swirling with this blue. And it was so vivid. And it was like pull you in like a fucking portal. And then he scooted up, but the way he was able to cross through the boundary of the illusion of self, where I could feel him cross into my mind. In both of those instances, I had to sit up real quick and push. It was like I had to push out and pull in. And it was like I had to shake. Like there was a whole thing to it. It was very eerie. And so, I don't know. There's some eerie shit going on. And, anybody who's like a open channel or an open mind, or I don't know, it's weird how some of these things are having more deeper understanding now. Like an open mind really is like an open mind. And so, I think there's people who have it who don't realize it, just like I didn't. I just thought it was just normal. I just thought it was regular. I thought everybody was the same. I had no idea. I had no idea that people, I don't know how other people live, so I can't even begin to guess. It seems very cut off from everything. It seems like it would feel very alone, and I don't know. But you're never alone, see? That's the thing. Is like the dark energy that is communicating with people is in the shadows. Like, people don't realize. People think it's their own thoughts, it's their own mind, and it's the communication for something outside of you that is, you know, trying to get something from you, take something from you, which is what their currency is, energy. And we give out bursts of energy. And so, yeah, you know, they'll suck it up. And it's weird, you know, because that kind of energy. Did you see something or hear something? Oh, it was my sweater. Oh, I probably knocked it off. That was so creepy. I keep having the creepiest stuff. Sound like something moving behind me. That was my sweater falling. Oh, God, I keep having the creepiest shit. God. Oh, my nerves. So, but, you know, look at my hair, though. Seriously. Like, I was in there brushing it. Let's see. Yesterday, did I wash it yesterday? Oh, yeah, I washed it yesterday. Yesterday, I used the little castor oil shampoo bar thing. It's supposed to be, you know, not chemicals and stuff, but anyways, a lot of times it makes it where I don't feel like my hair is clean. It looks like it's got some oily stuff on it, so that's why I don't like it. But so I thought, okay, I'm just gonna wash my scalp. I'm not washing my hair, and so I did that, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just do that again. But I don't know, I just gotta keep trying to find something that works good. But I did like how my hair was after, and it's not all like saturated. So it's like my hair is not mad at me right now. So that's a good thing. And because it has been getting, you know, always right here in this spot. But when it's really overreacting, it will just like saturate my whole head. And so it will be like all back here, be going down the sides. And then once that goes, it's like within a few hours, it's all the way to the bottom of my hair. It's wild. And anyways, so I was in there brushing my hair, and I was like, my color was just like disappearing in there on some of the things. And I was like, oh my gosh, it really is getting to where it is getting closer and closer to the hair color. So I want to keep making sure to point out the hair and the color and stuff, because of how much stuff that people keep saying, I'm lying, I'm making it up, this isn't real, I am passing bad science, and all sorts of shit. And then you have the other group, though, who is like all excited and they're doing it. And I have had so many different testimonials of people who have had the same thing happen totally by accident, and had something going on, and all different stories. And it's the same results over and over and over. And so, anyways, I want to make sure because there's people who think like that this hair cannot change color. And even while it's changing color, like it's literally changing color, then they'll just argue. Like it's the weirdest thing. And then they'll start trying to say other things. Well, you have wrinkles. Well, I love gray hair. And it's just like, okay, I don't have time for this wacky shit. I'm trying to help people who want to be helped. You don't want to be helped. You want to argue. You want to go be sick. You want to go wave your freaky gray flag hair and tell everybody how much you love yourself. Go do it. You know, get those flowers. Because you want your grave to look pretty. But then you'll have people like, well, my grandmother, she's had white hair since she was 20 and she's 99. Okay, well, I wonder if she would have liked living better with her natural hair, and if she would have felt better, you know? I mean, it's like, well, she lived a long time with no minerals, so there. It's like, oh, okay. Okay. Like, I would rather live feeling good if I'm going to live a long time. And when your hair is a gauge to, when your hair is losing color because nutrition is being pulled from it, then I would imagine that there's some sort of consequence or after effect. So, okay, yeah, but were you in grandma's shoes? Did you sleep in her bed? Did you wear her pajamas and stuff? You don't know what her life was like. I can't believe how much the joint pain went away. I thought it was that I was so like in my hooked in my hypochondria. I was sure it was the implant. What do they call that? Implant syndrome or something, because it leaching these plastics into your body and all that stuff. But a lot of those people get encapsulated, I guess. That's why they do these big surgeries. I don't want that. I don't have that. I just want the plastic, just, and it's getting so close. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so excited. I just can't wait. But anyways, I thought I had like implant syndrome because my joints were so bad. And remember, I was complaining. I was like, well, it probably is all that damn Sweet and Low I drank for years and years. No matter how many times my mom kept telling me, that's poisonous. That's got formaldehyde. You got to quit drinking that. It's really bad for you. You're like, well, I'm hooked, Mom. I'm hooked. I can't stop. I need that flavor. It has this weird flavor, which, now I know that they use these weird things to make us addicted to this stuff. But, I'm a lot more serious about my health now than I was then. I was the same as all these other people, Well, everything has chemicals and, this nonsense and stuff. That's what's wacky too. It's like these people who try and say this stuff to you. It's like they're addicts talking to a person in recovery. It's like, I've been there. You're not telling me anything. Like, you just keep going. Keep on going. You'll find your way. Especially, there's so many people, well, I don't know, my family, blah, blah, blah. And they're so lost. And it's like, yeah, but the universe is about to give a big old kick in the boot. It's about to say, oh, it's time to wake up. So the universe is going to give a big shove into this movement. It's going to turn us the other direction. So there's going to be a motivation. The universe won't just, keep going like this. No, it's going to have a shove in the right direction. Even though it's going to come out of the blue. Even these people who think they're so awake, it's going to come out of the blue because it's unexpected. They're expecting the worst. And things are going to turn. And there's people who build their whole platform on it, making fun of people who even believe that something good is coming from this. And so they're just, they're tainted. They are, what is that? Challenged. They are trusting challenged. They've lost their trust. That already hurt them or made them feel out of control, like things weren't in control. So you can't trust, you just can't trust anything, And I think you have to be like on guard. You have to be aware. You don't just dive in and give 100% of your trust on something. You got to be more cautious, kind of. You got to be more thoughtful, more mindful, look into things more. And think about this too, is how they pushed all these pans and stuff on people. And so these Teflon coated pans and stuff. And so now all this information is coming out about how bad that was, how bad the stuff, the coating that they put in there. But on top of that, think about that they put that to replace cast iron. When you cook from cast iron, you naturally get iron into your foods. And so you get that other mineral added in too. But see how they just systematically removed everything that was giving us anything healthy on purpose. And then they knew that our health was going to suffer. They just wanted to see how far that it would suffer and how much that they could, catch. Yeah, they are all about this, like catching, this siphoning and catching. They wanted to see how much of us, they could catch and, rob us blind, make us pay to try and have our health. And another thing too that is so common on my in my comments and stuff is how much people have dealt with the gaslighting and stuff by doctors and the manipulation, and they don't listen. And you know, the whole thing too, like with fibromyalgia, and there's a lot of other diagnoses, not just that one, but they are just kind of a shut the patient up thing. It's just like, okay, we don't know what's wrong with them. We're just going to say it's this, and we'll give some medicine. Like, that's how it works. Like, go and sit in the lunchroom and listen to doctors and ask them questions and stuff. And you see, yeah, they're just like, I don't know. There's these women just complaining all the time. And they would be very much like, like, I don't know what they say to the people's face, but behind their back, they'll be like, they don't take care of themselves. Like it's all their fault. They don't feel good. They just come in and whine and need somebody to give them an excuse and stuff. That's all the doctors are. That's how their attitude is. When they come in there and try and be like all nice and we're going to figure this out, that is, I don't know. It's probably not how they really are. It's probably the mask they put on, the persona that they wear to come in to be doctorly, And I think that probably there is a part of them that has to cut themselves off into dumbness. Like, how can you look around? And, it is like hush money. They are like paid to keep quiet. Because why in the world do they not figure some of this stuff out? And then you go and they just, want you to take more and more meds and stuff. And they've got to understand this side effects and stuff are killing people. They've got to fucking understand that there is people dying from these drugs. Like, like there are some really bad things from the depot shot. Like some girls have told me in my comments, and really bad. And there's other things, like people can go and take a medicine and their health is destroyed. This girl, she's got a really bad disease now. And hers was from when she was a little kid. They put her on Ritalin and Adderall. And so then she grew up and developed this like polycystic kidney disease or something. And so, I don't know. It's wild too, is, when, because that happened with my one daughter, my second born. And when she was in school, they started saying that she had to be on medication or she couldn't be in school. And because she wouldn't pay attention. She would disrupt the class. She would go sit on someone's lap and talk to them. And she always wanted to be social and, playing and stuff. And so they said she had to be on medication. And they made it such a big thing. And this turned into such a huge thing. So they were saying she had to be on the medication. She wouldn't be in class. They would make her go down. There would be like certain kids in the class. And they'd make this big thing about, you so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, you guys need to get up and go take your medication. And Jordan, or my daughter would say in class and stuff, that even the teacher would, like if the kid was doing anything or talked or anything, that the teacher would be like, did you take your medication in front of everybody? It was always like this big humiliation and stuff. And then the whole force of making them be in there or they couldn't be in class. And then the pressure, if you don't put them in class, like there's so much pressure put on people and students. Like, I'm sure this whole trans thing is a nightmare for some of these people, some of these kids, some of these parents. These insecure kids go and they're just busy working, and this kid is being, run through the school system on this love yourself fucking bullshit. And, we'll love you even more if you go to Dr. Frankenstein for your treatment. We'll love you a lot more. So, anyways, but, she did take the medication for a while, and it was such a huge ordeal. Oh my God. her dad was having such a fit. He did not want her on any medication. And I thought he was just trying to cause problems. And I just looked at it so different, you know. And there's just so many things that when you go through this process, it just opens your eyes and you see things differently and you see your reaction and you have to follow through, like where you were at the time, who you were, what you believed in. And, you know, there's a lot of things you got to release. And I'm just thankful that, you know, my daughter doesn't have some serious, you know, side effects or sicknesses due to being on medication when they were really little. But there was a lot of pressure, you know, always wanting us to put our kids on something for their attention or something for their anxiety or something for their depression. Like they've been pushing and pushing that for so long. And I don't know. I'm just glad that this is all like, you know, going at full circle. I'm glad this is like ending. I'm glad that we're moving out of this reality the way it was, because it's I don't know, it's hard and it's toxic, you know, confirmation. And it's there's just a lot of sadness, man, so much sadness, and keeps being weird shit, like a weird thing with the airplane taking off today and its tire falling off. And what was it? It seems like there's lots of stuff still, like a lot of people talking about Diddy and that boxer. And what was it? There seemed like there was something that a whole bunch of people were talking about. But like today, here it was supposed to be like nice out. I was expecting to be sunny, and I thought maybe it would even melt the ice in my car and I could go out and suck the water out of it, but it's still frozen. And even though it's supposed to be like 40 some degrees, and but it's so overcast, it's so foggy. And then this morning when I opened the door, it was snowing. I was like, the snowing wasn't even anywhere on our thing. It's not anywhere on our thing, anywhere. It was supposed to be nice yesterday, nice today, which yesterday was freezing cold. And then today it was supposed to be nice. I don't remember, because yesterday I did make a fire. I think it was just rainy and cold or something. It was cold. But it was supposed to be dry. And it was supposed to be sun. And then today, then it was snowing. And it was supposed to be 40 degrees and it's snowing. And then, and it was supposed to be dry. And so, anyways, it's just, it has a whole feel, too, of just like eeriness and stillness. And like everything's out of sync. And like things aren't moving right. And, but one thing that's not moving right so far is a no eviction notice yet. And I keep thinking about, like, I wonder, like, when these people go and get these houses in their auctions, if they even consider that. Like, oh, wow, I'm going to have to evict these people. Like, I'm going to have to go get a lawyer. I'm going to have to go, like, I don't know what all you have to do to go and try and evict somebody. And I don't even know if you have, like, a certain amount of time. I don't even know if they can come in and say you get 10 days or if they have to give you 30 days. Like, I don't know all the rules. And I think, you know, the shit going on has got its own rule book. And, you know, I don't know. You just got to go with the flow and see how it plays out. And I'm telling you, things are so close. It's just like we're so close. Joe's, I don't know, was pretty ridiculous on his State of the Union thing. And so, I don't know. It just seems like he's so close to just teetering right over that little, like, just fall like over on his face. I don't know how they're going to take him out. I don't know how it's going to go down, you know. I mean, part of it is, like, if they pretend like he died right then how would they bring up, like, his real thing? And then we're still in a place of lies. So there's going to have to be a part where people are going to have to face that these were players. There's players playing out what was supposed to play out. They were showing you what was going to play out, but it was still just a play. Like, there isn't all these like billions and billions of dollars getting sent here and getting sent there. Like, there's people who really think that there's all these billions of dollars getting sent everywhere. No, this is all a big show. There's but there, I mean, there's really some bad stuff happening. There's really some people dying and stuff. I don't think that they could stop every single thing from going on, and it's going to, continue until it's like things are going to keep going, and even afterwards they'll keep going, but there still is going to be this switch. And one thing too, as I was thinking, is because there's people like spiritual people too, who are out there saying, this is the split. We're going to go in two different realities. All your friends and family are going to die, or you're going to die from them. Everyone's going to die. No one's going to be in the same reality, and we're all going to be separate. And there's going to be the 5D people are going into good 5D, and the 3D people are going to stay in misery. And and I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, really, because it is the movement of us that have been on the journey is the lure that pulls the other people in the direction. So how would it be that we would just all of a sudden, well, we're doing good, so bye, we're raptured, see ya, you're on your own? That doesn't jive with me. No, it is, we are doing this. It's like a collective purpose. It's like we're taking the rope that was going in one direction, and we could see it was going in a direction, and it's like we all grabbed it and started pulling it, and we're pulling it and pulling it, and it's like getting the other people are like turning to see, and it's gonna like whip around. But us being a part of the pull, us being a part of telling the truth and standing in our beliefs, and and not being bullied and stuff, that is this turning of events. And so it is a part of it is for the people to witness, just like how we have been bearing witness to a lot of what's been going on. They're going to bear witness to the shift and how things play out. So when they see that there's people who live more in a state of natural, like this natural consequence, but a part of nature, a part of your health and taking care of yourself, harmony, balance, and all that stuff. When people see that part, they have to see the successful part. So that is going to be what's shown to them. That's when this energy is going to whip around. So it's not going to be all the people who are doing good are going to be raptured. They're all going, the chosen have left the building. No, it's going to be that they are going to be more catapulted into positions that they have been manifesting by aiming their energy or working towards their goals. And then it will be like this big shove, like the universe is going to do this big shove to wake people up, to get people to see, and to push people into directions. And so if you've been directing your energy towards something or somewhere, I didn't even realize she moved, that is where the energy is going to come up, and it's like a big wind will blow you into position. It's going to be this big when that goes, is going to be the people, those will become leaders in communities. It will be like goals. It will be like role models. And it's not going to be like these influencer fake bullshit. No, this is going to be people seeing how it really works. Like how people really have made changes in their life, how they've really taken control of their health. They've healed disease. They've reversed aging. They've managed to save themselves in crises. There's all sorts of things that will be, and it will be the people who are in that orbit for that experience. So it's not like you have to, get there, and like you have to be like, well, how am I going to get them seen? Well, there will be for sure. Who's supposed to see will see. And so that is what I believe is this shifting. So it will be like this one group will move forward into more of a sovereign state of being and more into a state of independence. And then there will be the group who will be coming behind them, who will be more deep into facing themselves and going through the challenges of, understanding their own choices, their own point of view, how they were looking at things. Like, there's a lot to process through there. But see, there's more guidance because there's more of us who have done it now. So there's more to help people with. And so there will be a whole bunch of people who will be starting on that. And I think a lot of them have already been working on things, and some of them have like a little wake here, a little wake there. So they will be a group that will be kind of like right on the coattails of the first group. As the first group moves, it's going to be the second group is going to, catch on and make that move. The third group is the one who's more resistant. They're the ones who are having a harder time. They're going to have a more hard time with the collapsing and stuff. They're more dependent. They're not as easily able to shift into like an open thought. Like, they need more determined, concrete. Well, it's not even evidence. Like, you can be sitting there right there with the evidence right in front of their face. They need the book. They need the publisher's stamp. It's like, that's like Rothschild, Rockefeller shit. Like, but see, you can't get them to see any of that. They're resistant to everything. And so they have more further to go, but there will be a lot more in front of them to see. So they will still be, making shifts. They'll still be moving. They'll just be more resistant. But things will start going at a different pace. Like, once things start going good for the people, when things shift, that is going to be like a big pull on the other people. That's going to really start pulling the energy in the other direction. Like now, how it feels like we're just getting wound so tight. And but this is, the winding tight is kind of like to just, purge it out. Just purge all that out of you. Purge out your anger. Purge out your resentment. I was going to say resistance was about to come through when I was saying resentment. So both of those things. Hold on. Something's scratching the shit out of my throat. Hold on a second. And it hurts. So the resistance that's going on, it seems like it is winding people tighter and tighter and tighter, and they're getting more tense and more angry, and that is to bring all that stuff to the surface. So everything inside of people is just like, you're squeezing the last bit out of the toothpaste or the ketchup or whatever. You are just squeezing everything out. So that is like all this energy is just being pushed to the top, pushed out so everybody can see it. Because everybody has to, you have to see it to release it. And it's so wild is how you can notice things in other people, but you can't see them in yourself. But see, this is how the universe is going to make sure that you're going to see yourself. And that is so uncomfortable. To see yourself is very exposing and uncomfortable. So it's going to be super emotional. It's going to be super intense. So it's going to be... There's going to be a lot, because the people who are in the back who are so resistant, it is going to be traumatizing. And however it goes down, it can be very challenging. And there can be a lot of trauma that's going to happen. So, and it is like we're so close. And also, like, remember, like Crystal, remember... if he lost his job or whatever, get him to really focus on positive things. Get him to focus like on his time. Now he's got all this time. What is stuff like he's always wanted to do? Is he always wanted to do like woodwork, Maybe he wants to go, like, there's so many things that men can go and find, like, side jobs. And I remember there's like a whole demographic that has huge needs. Old people, especially ones that are trying to stay in their own house. And they can have a lot of things, especially if it's a man with integrity and he's not trying to take a lot of money. And he goes in and he fixes things, like fixes a leak, moves furniture. I mean, there's so many different things. It can be, you know, clean out their basement, clean out their garage, and start building that. You start building customers. There's things like, there's people who, you know, need their dogs walked. They're at work all day and their dog's stuck in a crate, and they would pay somebody to go out and walk their dog because they can't afford doggy daycare. And then, but, you know, there has to be that link, that networking. So there's a lot of things that, I'm gonna swallow. There's a lot of things that you could do. Like if you're on Craigslist or Nextdoor, you can put in little ads. Like you can, I think people got to get out of their mindset. Like you have to have this job. You got to be making this certain amount of money. You got to start like reevaluating like your time. You just need enough money to get by. And especially like now in this transition. So just like reduce what it is like you think you need. Because it was a big thing when I lost my nursing license and I had to go on disability. And it was a big jump down in my amount of money. And it was like taking away like $6,000 a month or something. Or it was like, it went way down. And so I don't remember the whole thing and how it went and stuff, but they have a breakdown. They give you like a third of your income. And so, oh yeah, that's why, because they based it. Yeah, that was a lucky thing. Yeah, they based it on this 1 year that I was like such a workaholic. Oh my God, I worked and worked and worked. But, yeah, so that's how it was based on. But you get used to having less money. Like it's like a big like impact when it first happens. But then when you kind of get over it and get over the rejection too. Yeah, I mean, especially like right now where so many people are losing their jobs, but it really will hit you in the ego and make you feel like, oh my God, I can't keep a job. I can't do this. Like you'll feel hit hard. So even with somebody who's like going through that stuff, just keep telling them like, you know, they're doing good. You know, this is just weird stuff happening in the world. And you can't get everybody to understand like things are being taken from them so that they can find their best stuff about themselves. But, you know, he probably has some skills and some things he could tap into. He probably has some dreams of stuff that he's wanted to do that he's never feels like he has the time. It seems too selfish. It seems too frivolous to spend time doing things that you want to, you know, do to make yourself happy. So a lot of people will start resenting life, resenting partners, resenting everything because they don't get their more of an outlet of creativity, of following their dreams. They're getting to do things that they really enjoy. So, but you know, when you get hit, like, and they take your job from you and take away your identity and stuff, and then you've got all this problems. But you know, like right now it's about to be spring. Start planting some food. Like when you make it with a lot less food. Like that's one thing. That's a thing that people can cut out a lot that they don't realize because they're so addicted to food. They're so addicted to eating. It's so programmed into them. They think they've got to have this certain amount. And no, you don't. Like I really feel like those Brethren people really taught me a lot about that. Is yeah, a lot of stuff that we think we need, we don't need. And so you can really reduce the food that you are getting by a lot to save money. And then you can grow food. And seriously, everybody can just do little like side gigs, little side jobs. Like, I mean, if you have a sewing machine and you know how to sew, you can do mending for people. People can't afford to go buy new clothes all the time right now, and they need things fixed and they don't know how. There's all sorts of things. We just got to get more creative and more thinking outside of the box and thinking of possibilities and, you know, just And then get out of the idea like, oh, well, we have to have this much in the bank. We have to have this much, we need to be able to, tell all our friends, what we are, our position, we're a manager, or we are, different kind of these levels where people feel like, that they're successful, they're doing well because it's part of the status regime of our culture. But that's what we're breaking down because it's artificial and it's interfered with. And they want to suck the life out of us. They want our whole lives to just be chasing this dream, trying to chase something when there's not enough of it. And they want to keep us in this constant state of envy, but it's like an exhaustion. You're just constantly trying to get something. You never get there. It's just a state of being defeated. And so, yeah, that's why, they have all these anxiety disorders and depression and all these different things that are mental health issues. And it's so wild because so many mental health issues are fixed by natural herbs and stuff. And another thing too, I think is important, is that people got to realize their gut health. And it was somebody I was talking to, and I don't remember, I've been talking to so many different people, but I was something, and people don't realize is your gut health is so important because your gut is where everything is absorbed. You absorb all your nutrition in your large intestine. And in your large intestine is where so many people have so many parasites and stuff. And that is taking all of their nutrition. And so they aren't getting the absorption, and then they're getting, their food's rotting inside them. The bad bacteria is taking over. The good bacteria is, defeated, and they aren't getting nutritional value. They've got bloating, gas, inconsistent stooling, and all sorts of issues. And so all those signs are signs that there's issues. Even malabsorption is a sign that you probably have poor gut health. And so there's so many things with the herbs and stuff to improve your gut health. And the kombucha, and making kombucha, but just getting any of the kombuchas at the store. Like I used to, when I very first started drinking those, I thought it tastes like straight up vinegar. Now it tastes like Kool-Aid to me. But it is, that is an important value to your health, is having good gut health, and really focusing on that. And most probiotics aren't enough to, you have to take a lot. You have to take a lot to really build up that. And, but it works through like fermented food, like kombucha. I think is something with bitter too. Like if there's stuff that's bitter, and we're supposed to have all that stuff, and we're supposed to have a balance between our alkalinity and our acidity. And I was thinking about that, and I've been looking everywhere because I had some of those papers that showed that for my kombucha, and I've been looking everywhere for those. I was like, I really am curious about the pH now of my urine with all these minerals. And sometimes I'll go in there and to go pee, and I'll feel like, oh my gosh, it smells like minerals. And it's like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I would think it must be an overflow thing. Like there's so many, I'm just peeing them out. And but like I don't want to be ignorant like the colloidal blue people. Like it's one thing to do like a little bit of that stuff, but when you start overdoing that, you start turning blue. And I'm sure that Mother of God lady, it was more than just probably that she drank all that colloidal silver. I think it was also because she just drank so much alcohol and she didn't eat any nutrition. Like it's one thing if you are, those brethren people, they are not, drinking alcohol and stuff. It's like they live off of sun, prana, the energy. They pull in the energy and build their own energy. And you can build your own energy doing like chi and is it build your chi, doing like this it's like these movements. I've talked about them before because I'll start doing them, and you do these movements and stuff, and it'll build up your energy. And so and all those things too make you healthier and keep you more in balance, and it gives you a focus on yourself and tuning into yourself, and it gives you more energy. So but the people who what was I going to say, something about the eating or something, because they don't it isn't that they oh yeah, because about the health, they would still have a healthy lifestyle. Like the people who have an unhealthy lifestyle, it's really going to start being more noticeable. And there's so many people who have an unhealthy lifestyle. There's people who don't know how to cook. They rely on other people to cook for them. And that is going to just keep being shown and shown and shown more and more and more. The toxic stuff about the restaurant food and the bad, I don't know. I've seen some gross ass videos about like in restaurants and like with the rats and the roaches and just the sick, the whole thing. It just, I don't know. There's a lot of toxic lifestyle, nasty kind of way of living, but it's kind of like an ignorant dependency, like it's just not going to look. I'm just going to not pay attention. It tastes good. And so not think about like, because it's very different when you're making the food with your own hands. And then when you start thinking like, you know, just like when you're cooking and you drop something, you know, you think in a restaurant that they're throwing that away or doing something different and giving it to the dogs that's sitting at the stove, you know, that's just going right back on the pan for you. And no telling like what's all on their floors and stuff. Like there's just they're like, they don't have the same caring. Like you're going to be a lot more caring about your food. So there's a lot of just like turn the other way so somebody else makes it for you. And then, you know, just put on a lot of ketchup so it tastes good or something. I don't know. I just feel like all that stuff is going to be changing. And I've been like watching it, you know, blowing up in people's lives. I can't even believe how many videos I've seen of people complaining about restaurants, about restaurant food, people who work in restaurants complaining about the people who come in the restaurants and their behaviors. Like there's just a whole aspect of our society that's like kind of toxic and dependent and resentful and just the whole thing. You know, all these different things are all the things that have to be purged out of our society. So this is all the stuff coming up into to the surface. And there's all these different things because there is just such a dependency in our society of you know, just somebody else take care of me, somebody else get my food for me. And like we thought that like that is a pain for us to even have to go to the grocery store. Like, oh my God, what a pain. I have to go to the grocery store. I have to go buy this food that somebody else grew and all that. I mean, that's why they had the opportunity to poison us. Is because, yeah, us to take care of ourselves, it was just like, that's a lot of work. So, you know, we turned it over. We surrender our health to these other people. They took full advantage of our surrender, of our ignorance, of our dependency, you know. So we can't sit here and just blame them. That would be more toxic. We have to take responsibility, you know, for our laziness and our dependency and all of the things that we did to keep this system going, to partake in it, to be involved in it. And so that's the end of it, is us facing it, facing ourselves, facing our roles, letting go of it, and letting go of the whole thing. You know, that's the process of letting go of this old world, is the world that we had, you know, allowed, the world that we lived in. And so anyways, that's the end of all of that kind of stuff, and the changing into the other. But there is like the process. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I still say, you know, the people who are going to be leaving are going to be people who are, you know, in the third group, the people who are the most resistant, the people who just want to go home. And that can be some of these super spirits, like how much they're always like, they feel like they're trapped in this prison and all that stuff. Then, you know, some of them, and they're going to rapture out, you know, and they're going to just go home. So that, to me, is the people who are going to leave in these big groups is going to be, it's not going to be the people who are doing better. That the people who are doing better is what's going to be the motivation for the people who aren't doing well when all this goes. So anyways, that's my thoughts about it. That's how I think it's going to go. It makes no sense to me at all what these other people are saying about that. And oh yeah, because it was like, there's so much stuff more and more about like how like mountains are people, and like there was like a whole giant world, a whole giant society or something that was like petrified. It was like, I don't know if it fell over and then it just made out to be islands and stuff like that. But you know, that is that would have been a long time ago, long time ago, in a completely different reality. More of when probably the earth was beginning or something. Because everything is an evolution. And so anyways, I was thinking it's kind of weird is that it seems kind of like that they are trying to petrify us, like with all these chemicals and stuff, and the way they're draining the minerals out of people, and people are even turning gray and disappearing, like losing all their color, all their richness, all their life force, all their energy is being drained from them. And I was just like, oh, that's kind of weird. So anyways, that was just something I had thought about today. And another thing too that I really want to say, because I did this video earlier on it, is that if you keep on making excuses, like if you keep blaming others and you think everything is somebody else's fault, that is a personality disorder. So you've got yourself a personality disorder. If you can't take responsibility, you can't look at yourself, and you think everything is everybody else's fault, and you've got it so tightly finessed that you somehow can always keep it on somebody else's. No, they really did. They really did. You know, that you need to really step back and look and start learning how to take responsibility for yourself, because that's the evolution, is being able to grow in that way, to take responsibility for yourself. As long as you're blaming everybody else, that's a disorder. That is 100% a personality disorder. So even, you know, when you are finding that you needed somebody to blame for things, you know, it's best to take responsibility for yourself. And that is where you find your power, is when you realize like you are making choices for yourself. Everything you do, no matter what it is, you are deciding for yourself what you're going to do. And then another thing too is like, because this still has this something that somebody said to me recently, and it just keeps going over in my head, and it is but I don't really want to say it as something like a man said. And I was thinking, you know, it's just so strange too, is how many people like people will push what they want. People will push what they want on you. And then it is when they and it's like not even know you. not even see you, and then be pushing what they like on you, like trying to make sure that you see them. You see them, but they're never looking at you. But then they're trying to push themselves on you, but then they're not seeing you. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's very strange. Like, when you go in deeper over some of the things, what people say to you, you really do start realizing there's so many fucking broken people. Like, why would we get our feelings hurt and get all upset and stuff? I mean, it's just strange. Like, people just are, you know, there's just lots of broken people. And we shouldn't be so triggered from one another. When somebody does weird stuff, like, I can keep thinking, like, that's weird. It's really weird. Like, it's a strange thing to say to somebody. And then you start putting together a lot more pieces. And it just starts filling in. And I was thinking, you know, it's so much the old version of myself was so much more of a people pleaser. And so much more of didn't want somebody else to feel bad. Don't want them to feel bad. And I am so different than that now. Now, you know, not that I want somebody to feel bad, but I prioritize myself. And I don't bend over backwards to try and make sure of how you feel. Like, I feel like you're responsible for your feelings just like I'm responsible for my feelings. And so that relieves me from having to heal you, fix you. You know, I get to feel my feelings. And if you say something weird to me, yeah, I get to feel those feelings. I don't have to try and, you know, fix it for you. Like, no. So, anyways, people say weird stuff to you, then, you know, just recognize the deeper thing. Don't get all caught up and argue and defend yourself or say anything. Just like, I don't know. There's just a lot to observe, I think, a lot to witness. And the whole time, you just got to keep on remembering that you got to love yourself. You got to love everyone. And you got to have a loving day. And I'll talk to you later.